The Hidewood Creek comes out of Clear Lake, and then as it goes southwest, then it develops into a valley. Hidewood is a derivative of Hidden Woods. And I had the state forester out one time, and he went through and he said, yeah, it's a natural draw of bur oak trees. If you heard of like Seachy Hollow up there, this is the same thing what I have on my property. Back in the early 1860s, they had the Minnesota Uprising where the Indians revolted, and they looted and burned their way up this way. And the story is Chief Little Crow and 40 Braves come out and hid in this draw of mine up here until things all quieted down. And then him and his two sons, they walked up to Canada. And he was up there for, I don't know, a year or two. So he was walking back down, and a settler recognized him and shot him because there was a $500 bounty on him. Well, and then the state of Minnesota has always had his remains. And then we had a guy in Clear Lake by the name of Alan Woolworth. He became the head of the Minnesota Historical Society. And he got the state to release Little Crow's remains. And so then he took them down to Flandreau, and that's where he's buried at now.
Keith Diekman has a clear passion for history.
I like history, and it says a lot about it. So.
And he shares it in several ways, including through his work at the Clear Lake Historical Society, but also through sharing his extensive collection of historical farm equipment.
It's all stuff I grew up with.
And rural life in the Hidewood Valley, which his sister Diane has documented in her book, A Farm in the Hidewood.
This has been my home for 76 years now. Dad moved here in fall of 46, and then Mom was living next door to the west. They got together and got married in early 48, I think it was. And my family ended up being a military family because Dad was in the Army, Mom was in the Navy. I enlisted in the Navy, but they didn't want me.
And while Keith stayed home to run the family farm, his siblings Kenny, K.O., Diane, and Ronald served a combined total of 85 years in the military.
When Dad started out, there was no power at all, so we milked about 10 cows by hand, and then when we got electricity, then we got a milking machine, and we added another 10 cows, and we always had stock cows around, so it was stock cows and milk cows and crop farming. And like Mom, she always went out in the field to cultivate and plow, and then when us kids got old enough, then we started hauling hay by ourselves. And life was always just a family affair. Well, I used to enjoy farming, but as time went on, the fun all left. And then it was time to go on and do something else,
These days, Keith spends less time farming and more time caring for county roads.
Every 2 weeks, I blade 2 townships.
But also sharing his passion for pasque flowers.
I've always been a fan of them. They like to grow on the southwest side of a hill. That's where they first come up, where its ground has never been tilled or anything like that, And this year we give probably about 500 a week. So many people my age grew up with them, It's just something they just admire.